Christmas Eve, 1945. Fayetteville, West Virginia. The Sodder family is sound asleep. At 1 a.m., the phone rings. Jennie Sodder answers. A wrong number? Or a signal? 30 minutes later, the house is engulfed in flames. George and Jennie Sodder escape with 4 of their children. They scream for the other 5, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, who are trapped upstairs. They watch in horror as the roof collapses into the basement. By morning, the house is nothing but a pile of smoking ash. But when the fire marshal sifts through the rubble, expecting to find remains, he finds absolutely nothing. No bones, no teeth, no bodies. Did the fire incinerate them completely? Science says that's impossible. So, where did the Sodder children go? To understand this mystery, we have to look at the bizarre series of events that happened during the fire, because nothing that night made sense. When George Sodder realized the house was burning, his first instinct was to grab the heavy ladder he always kept outside to rescue the kids from the attic window. The ladder was gone. It was later found dragged away and hidden in a ditch 75 feet away. Next, he tried to drive his 2 coal trucks to the side of the house to climb on top of them and reach the window. Neither truck would start. Both had worked perfectly the day before. Desperate, he tried to call the fire department. The phone line was dead, but it wasn't burned, it had been cut. And not just cut, someone had climbed the pole and sliced the line. And that woman who called at 1 a.m., the wrong number. Witnesses later said she had a weird, frantic laugh. Was the fire an accident? Or was it a perfectly executed cover-up? The morning after the fire, the authorities told George and Jenny that their 5 children had perished in the blaze. They issued death certificates immediately, but the Sodders weren't buying it. George worked in the coal industry. He knew about fire. The house burned for only 45 minutes before the roof fell in. Experts later confirmed that for human bones to completely disappear, to turn into dust with no trace, a fire needs to burn at over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 2 hours. A wooden house fire reaches maybe 1,000 degrees. Even in a professional crematorium, bone fragments remain. Yet, in the Sodder basement, nothing, not even the metal kitchen appliances, had melted completely. So, if the bodies weren't in the ashes, they must have made it out alive. Why would anyone target the Sodders? George Sodder was an Italian immigrant. He was hardworking and successful, but he was also outspoken. He openly criticized the Italian dictator Benito Mussolini. In the chaotic immigrant community of West Virginia in the 1940s, this made him enemies. Just months before the fire, a stranger came to the Sodder home looking for work. He pointed to the fuse box and said, "This is going to cause a fire someday." Then a life insurance salesman visited. When George declined the insurance, the salesman got angry. He reportedly shouted, "Your house will go up in smoke and your children are going to be destroyed. You are going to be paid for the dirty remarks you have been making about Mussolini." Was this just a heated argument? Or was it a promise? In the years that followed, the Sodders didn't rebuild. They turned the site into a memorial garden. They put up a billboard on Route 19 offering a $5,000 reward. Tips flooded in. A woman claimed she saw the children in a passing car while the fire was still burning. A waitress in Charleston claimed she served them breakfast the next morning, accompanied by a car with Florida license plates. But the most chilling piece of evidence arrived 20 years later. In 1968, Jennie Sodder received a letter in the mail. No return address. Postmarked from Kentucky. Inside was a photo of a man in his mid-20s. He looked remarkably like their missing son, Louis. On the back, a cryptic note, "Louis Sodder. I love brother Frankie. Illo boys. A 90132. They hired a private investigator to find him. The investigator went to Kentucky and was never heard from again. George Sodder died in 1969, a year after receiving that photo. Jennie died in 1989. For the rest of their lives, they wore black. They never touched the site where the house stood. They never stopped looking. Did the local mafia take the children to silence George? Were they sold into an illegal adoption ring? Or did they really perish in the fire, defying the laws of physics? The billboard stood on Route 19 for decades, a haunting reminder of the night 5 children vanished into smoke. It's been nearly 80 years. The house is gone. The parents are gone. But the question remains. What do you think happened to the Sodder children? Was the photo really Lewis? Or was it a cruel prank? Let me know your theory in the comments below. If you want more mysteries like this, hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one.